Imagine this, you have just recovered from a serious injury and are ready to return to work, but instead of support, you find yourself facing termination. In this legal, what can you do? In this video, we are going to break down what constitutes wrongful termination after injuries and how you can protect your right and fight back. What you learn, what wrongful termination is and how it appeals to injury case, your legal rights if you are fired after an injury, key step to take if you suspect wrongful termination, how to file a claim and what evidence you need, real life examples and how they play out in court. Stay with me as we dive into the specific of how to safeguard your career and your future after an injury. What is wrongful termination? Wrongful termination refers to an employer firing an employee for illegal reason, including discrimination, retaliation, or violating employment law. Legal protection. Federal law. Under the Americans with Disability Act ADA, employees are protected from being fired due to a disability, which include injuries that result in long-term impairments. Second is Family and Medical Leaves Act FMLA. If you are taken medical leave for an injury, your employer cannot terminate it. You will you you are on FMLA leaves. State law. Many states have additional protection for injuries workers, such as prohibiting retaliation for filing a workers' compensation claim. Example of wrongful termination. Imagine your injury your back while on the job. Take time off to recovery under FMLA and return to work only to be told that your position has been eliminated. If your job was never truly eliminated, or if your firing is related to your injury, that could be considered wrongful termination. Your legal rights after an injury. Right to medical leaves and job protection. If you are injured, federal and state law protect your right to take medical leave without the fear of losing your job. This protection extends not just to physical injuries but also to mental health issues related to an injury. Worker compensation. If you are injured at work, you have the right to file for worker compensation. Employer cannot legally fire you for filing a claim or seeking medical treatment related to a work injuries. Example, if you file a worker compensation claim after an injury and are then suddenly fired with no clear reason, you may have a case for wrongful termination and protection against retaliation. Employer cannot retaliate against you for seeking treatment, filing a worker compensation claim, or taking legal action for your injury. Sign of wrongful termination after injury. Sudden termination after injury. One of the most obvious signs for wrongful termination is if you are fired soon after reporting or recovering from an injury. If your hiring seems out of the blue and related to your injury, this could be a red flag. Unjustified firing. If you were performing well at your job and suddenly receive poor performance review which you believe are fabricated, or if you are terminated without any legitimacy reason, this may signal a wrongful termination. Discriminatory behavior. Sometimes wrongful termination come in the form of discrimination, where the employer treat you unfairly because of your injury or disability. Lack of accommodation. If your employer refuse to provide reasonable accommodation for your injury, like modifying your work environment or duties, and terminates you because of it, this could be a case of wrongful termination. Example: let's say you injured your arm and request a temporary change in your job duties to allow you to perform light tasks. If your employer refuses and terminates you instead, you might have a case for wrongful termination. How to prove wrongful termination? First, document everything. Keep track of every interaction related to your injury, medical leaves, worker compensation, and termination. This documentation will be critical if you decide to pursue a legal claim. Take notes on email, conversation, and meeting, and make sure you have a copy of your medical records and worker compensation claim. Witness testimony. If cow workers witnessed any unfair treatment, they could serve as important witness in your case. Performance review and worker record. Obtain copy of your performance review and job history before your injury. If your performance was consistently positive and you were fired soon after returning to work, it strengthen your case. Medical documentation. Medical records showing the extent of your injury and treatment are virtual in establishing that your termination was related to the injuries. What to do if you are wrongful terminated? Step 1 is speak with an employment lawyer. If you suspect wrongful termination, consult an employment lawyer as soon as possible. They will help you understand your right, the strength of your case, and guide you through the legal process. File a claim. You can file a wrongful termination claim with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commissions or your state's labor department. If the claim is related to a work injury, also file with the Workers' Compensation Board. Step 3 is consider medication or legal action. In many cases, you can resolve wrongful termination dispute through medication. However, if necessary, pursue a formal lawsuit to seek compensation for lost wage, emotional distress, and other damage. Wrongful termination after an injury is not only unfair but it is also illegal. Knowing your right and how to define them is the first step toward seeking justice and compensation. If you have been wrongfully terminated, you have legal protection that can help you get your job back or secure financial compensation. If you found this video helpful, like, share, and subscribe for more legal insights and tips. If you have questions or need more details, drop them in the comment below. I will respond to them all. Don't let wrongful termination take away your rights. Fight back. Thanks for watching and best of luck navigating your legal journey.